Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome or welcome back again to another video tutorial lesson from the Apex Predator Billiards Training Club. My name is Apex Elenio, your aspiring professional pool player and pool instructor. Now in today's video tutorial, which I'm very poised and motivated to be bringing to you today, I want to share one of my favorite drills that I love to do in my practice session. Of course, this drill, there are several variations of this drill that are out there on the internet, but particularly this drill here was introduced to me by a top level player that is located here on the island. So of course I want to share that particular drill with you today. I'm going to be walking you through my thought process of this drill. Now this particular drill, I gave it the name of the two rail exit point drill, right? And there could be other names for it out there, but in particularly I never saw this drill before, or this variation of the drill, so I decided that I wanted to give the drill a name of my own. And this particular drill, as I said, improves your ability in the discipline of 9 ball and 10 ball. So of course inside this drill here we're going to be focusing primarily on positional play, cue ball visualization ability, knowing when to or when not to use spin to play position, and how to visualize and create the ideal angle to have the cue ball travel into its positional zone. Of course, I'll be making a wide variety of comparisons and contrasting differences between how to play each shot, and we're going to definitely have some fun here, and we're going to be improving several aspects of our game. I did in fact did a video on this on my channel on a 9-foot table, so you can definitely go ahead and check those videos out. But in the same time and in the same breath, you can go ahead and smash that subscribe button below, turn on your post notification bell, leave some positive questions and comments, and of course do not forget to like the video. It does help the channel to grow. So let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so as I would have mentioned in the intro, this particular drill here is known as my two rail exit point drill, and the setup for this drill is very simple. It is where I have the even numbered balls 2, 4 and 6 that are across from the second diamond on the bottom half of the table, and I have the odd numbered balls 1, 3 and 5 that are on the top half, also across from the second diamond on this half of the table. And as I had mentioned before, that this drill can be made extremely fun by assigning some points. For me particularly here, I assign 2 points to each ball that I pot, depending on if I can touch 2 or more rails. So if I can touch 2 rails on each of my pots, then if I'm successful in getting on the 8, then I will award myself 3 points by successfully potting the 8 to get an accumulated points of 15. So that's basically what we're going to be doing here to make the drill a little bit fun, so you can actually compete with your practice partner or just in general with your friends, because as we know, a lot of players don't really like doing drills. So here we go. All right, so I'm gonna get onto the table here, and I'm going to be setting up my ideal angle here to transition from the 1 ball to the 2 ball here. Now you'll see where I use a visualization technique, and this is something that I do a lot because it helps me and it helps my brain to visualize my positional zone. Now I would have drawn an imaginary vertical line through the 2 ball here that would have created a zone for me for the cue ball. Now if I can just bump onto the short rail on the side rail with the right speed and get anywhere close to that vertical imaginary line, then I would have an easy transition from the 2 to the 3. You'll see here on the replay that pops up now and again above the screen here, where I'll make some comparisons and contrasting differences here. Now at the top of the screen here, you'll see where that is a replay of the initial shot, and at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see where in one of my previous failed attempts to complete this drill, I landed on an inside angle on the 2. In a moment I'll explain to you how that attempt worked out, but let's first complete the transition from the 2 ball to the 3 on this attempt. Now I landed dead perfect on where I wanted for the 2. I can easily transition from the 2 to the 3 here by again using just some top spin, but the positional zone is really tight because I need to get very close to that side rail, just maybe bumping off a little bit, so I can actually have a nice transition from the 3 back to the 4. So again, as my cue ball marker indicate, I'm going to be potting this 2 ball here, natural cue ball coming around nicely. Now I've landed just maybe a half a ball, maybe a ball outside of my initial point that I wanted to land, but that is okay. I can still make it work. So this particular shot in one of my previous failed attempts, I landed on an inside angle on the 2. So I'm going to have to use some check side spin here at the bottom of the screen, and you'll see where I try to check the cue ball and hold the position, but I actually overrolled my position almost by 2.5 balls. Now let's take a look at what happened when you land on an angle that is this awkward. I'm gonna have to use some outside spin here to actually correct my angle and get back into position for the 4. And whenever it is that you have to use side spin or maximum side spin and you have overrolled your shot, bad things can happen whenever you don't execute your stroke correctly. For example, there I used a whole ton of side spin there and I didn't compensate properly, which bowled the 3 ball and caused me to have to fail that attempt. So that was a good indication of why you need to land perfectly on the 3 ball, or as close to perfect as possible. This was as close to perfect as I could land on the 3 to transition to the 4. Now here, all I need here is just maybe a slight bit of inside spin, just maybe a here or so. So if I can pop this 3 ball here and come on an inside angle here onto the 4, it would be nice. Now you'll notice here where I aim my cue towards the 4. If I can land close to that side pocket there, just bumping just in front of the side, I will be in ideal position. So maybe a here of right spin. The cue ball is natural to go to the 4, but just to hold the speed, just a here of inside spin here will help me land perfectly on the 4 to transition to the 5 ball. So now I've landed perfectly here for an inside angle on the 4. Now you'll see here on the replay on screen where I actually played this shot here. At the top of the screen is my actual shot that I played, and at the bottom of the screen here you'll see where I played a shot with a little bit of outside spin and I overrolled my position. Now here's a freeze frame shot of what this position looks like. Here I'm on the 4 and I have an angle that is going in towards the 6. Now again, this is not the ideal angle to get onto the 5. So once again, I'm going to have to use some contrary side spin here to get position. Now later in the video, I will show you exactly how I landed on the 5 for this position. But let's see here how I got onto the 5 from this ideal position here. Now I have the perfect angle, which is the inside angle on the 5, but I'm looking for a angle that I can transition to rear from the 5 to the 6. So you'll see that I'm going around, I'm checking my angles, checking my zone, and so I'm in a little bit of a problem here because number one, I have to control the speed for this precise angle, and I also have to use a bit of inside spin here to check the cue ball off the second rail. So good pot here, and that inside spin helped me to hold the cue ball up for the 5. Now let's pay close attention to here where I landed on the 5. I potted the 4 ball as you'll see here, and at the top of the screen on the right side you'll see me moving and judging my angle that I would need to land on the 5. That is the precise angle that I would want to land from the 5 to head onto the I would want to land on the 5 to land onto the 6. Now on the left side here you'll see where the cue ball landed and where I intended my cue ball to land almost is to perfection. And this is a visualization skills that a lot of the top pros use. They always pick a positional zone, a positional angle that is ideal to move the cue ball naturally to the next positional zone. So you'll see here based on the freeze frame comparison that where I wanted my cue ball and where it has landed is in perfect synchronization. All right, so that's really good there. Now let's have a look at this 5 ball. Now you'll see here where I may have to go 2, maybe 3 reels to land onto the 6, but bear in mind that I would like to land on the 6 so that I could naturally float 2 reels for some sort of position onto the 8. Now I would love to catch in between the first and second diamond as indicated there on the screen. So if I can land anywhere close to some sort of angle, I definitely do not want to end up straight, so I can transition to the 8 here. Now you'll see where I use a bit of high left spin here, and you see that I'm a little bit coward in terms of using the spin, because of course using spin you have to compensate for aiming, compensate for throw, compensate for deflection. So I kind of played that shot a bit light, and you see here that I landed a bit straight onto the 6. Now, why did I land straight onto the 6 here? You'll notice here that earlier when I had played this 3 ball and landed on the 4, I overrolled my position. And so I'm walking you through one of my failed attempts. Earlier when I showed you a freeze frame shot of this, I showed you that this angle was heading in towards the 6. Now I decided that, hey, rather than just saying that the drill is over, let's try to see if we can create something here. So I've decided here to pocket the 4 ball using some check side spin. For this particular shot, I wouldn't be able to touch 2 rails. So I have to cheat the pocket towards the right and use inside spin to check it to hold an angle for the 5. Nice delivery there. I do apologize for blocking the way how blocking the path for you to see how the cue ball landed here, but you'll see that I ended up on a very much steeper angle than what I had initially landed when I executed the shot in my successful attempt. Now here is why I played that 5 ball a bit light. This was one of my failed attempts where I ended up with a steeper angle and I misjudged the angle. Now with an angle like this, which is very close to 45, probably about 37.5 degrees, this angle is going to head towards the corner, and I miscalculated the amount of spin that I needed, and that cue ball got away from me and scratched. So that was a failed attempt. I decided that, hey, let's just play it safe, pocket the 5 ball and just get some shorter shot on the 6. You'll now make a comparison between me landing. This is more closer to say 30 degrees. It's in between 30 degrees and 37.5 degrees. So I know now that all I have to do is just apply some high left spin, maybe about give or take say 10 o'clock. And then once I can land anywhere between the first diamond and the second diamond, I should be able to land perfectly on the 6, which is why I kind of played this 5 ball a bit light, due to the fact that earlier in my failed attempt I had pocketed the 5 and I had scratched. So this is why you see the cue ball coming off so softly. I perhaps maybe didn't need to touch the 3rd rail, but it ended up that I am straight here on the 6. And so of course I wouldn't be able to get the maximum of 15 points, because I'm straight on the 6, no matter what I do here I won't be able to touch 2 rails. So I've decided that, hey, let's give you a successful attempt at the drill. Let's just settle. I'm trying to see if maybe I can create something, maybe cheat the pocket, force the cue ball. But in a situation like this, you definitely want to finish the drill and pot the 6 ball. So I've decided that, hey, I'm going to sacrifice an extra 2 points for you, my viewers, just to complete the drill. So I've decided here to just draw the cue ball back and just get some sort of angle on the 8 to pot it into the side. Now of course the position there on the 8, if you look here on the magnified view of the shot, when I applied the draw, you'll see that too much power caused my little finger to the side here to slip out the cue. The cue almost slipped right out of my hand, which kind of caused me to land a little bit awkward here on the 8. You most likely want to have a stroke that looks like this, where you have your fingers wrapped right around the cue and you can deliver a clean stroke. Nevertheless, with my experience and my knowledge, this may not be the most ideal shot that I want on the 8, but it's definitely makeable, and I can just pot it into the side and finish this drill to earn a maximum of 13 points. Of course, I wouldn't be able to leave you or leave this video without giving you an attempt. So I'm going to be making an attempt at this drill again, where I'm going to be executing my shot as perfectly as possible here. All right, so if you guys are getting some sort of value from this video here and you're learning something, of course be sure to smash that like button and do not forget to share this out to your pool communities. Of course, I had completed this drill earlier when I started my channel. You can definitely check out that video. A link will be in the description and also in the cards here for you, where you can check out how I executed this drill on a 9-foot table. Right, the quality may not be as best as this one or as good as this one, but it's definitely worth watching. So check it out. The link is in the description box below. So here we go. We're going to go again, and we're going to try to execute this drill as perfect as possible. So I'm going to be a little bit more precise with my cue ball position. There you'll see that I'm judging. I'm saying, okay, if I can get outside on that vertical line or inside, this is how I'll be able to transition from the 2 ball to the 3 ball. So here again, setting up my shot straight, using top spin, coming 1 rail like that, 2 rails nicely close to that vertical line. I kind of overrode my position here on the 2 ball. I'm a little bit outside of the vertical line here. You'll see in the replay here that once I bounce off the second rail, it kind of overroll a little bit, but I'm still perfect here. Now by using a bit of check side spin here to just hold the cue ball in line for the 3, all I have to do here is just catch the 2 ball, touch 2 rails, and just hold that angle nicely. Now I have an inside angle from the 3 to land here on the 4 ball. Again, with this inside angle, I'm definitely gonna again need a little bit of inside spin here, because the positional zone, I need to stay very close to that side rail. So just using a bit of inside left in this particular case here, touching 2 rails and just landing softly onto that side rail here. But again, the speed got the better of me here, and I rolled completely out of line. Now you'll see here with the replay that with the side spin, I applied a bit too much speed. I delivered the cue, used the side spin, may have needed a little bit more side spin, but I can make very good use of this. I'm still not bad. This is very similar to one previous shot that I had played. We have to use a lot of outside spin. So now I'm going to be doing the same, but I'm going to be a little bit more smoother with my stroke. And there you can see I've landed nicely onto the 5 ball. So here I'm nicely onto the 5. I did forget the 8 ball. So here, after using the side spin, coming off the side rail and bumping nicely, I ended up slightly straight. Now I definitely wanted to touch 2 rails. Now I don't have as much angle that I need, but if I can just shoot this 5 ball into the right side of the pocket and force follow the cue ball with a bit of high right spin, I can catch the short rail and come in towards that angle here on the 6. So delivering my cue, setting up my shot. Earlier I showed you that when you're using spin, you have to deliver the cue straight and you have to have a smooth stroke. You look at this delivery here, no movements in the back arm. You'll see how nice the cue was delivered. The cue stayed in my hand and I applied a nice delivery and smooth acceleration through the cue here. Landed perfectly here on the 6. Now to wrap this up here, of course, to get the maximum of 15 points, I will need to pocket the 6. I will need to come off 2 rails or more to land onto the 8 ball here. So now that I'm on the 6, all I have to do is just use a bit of high right spin, come 1 rail off the side rail into the short rail and land onto the 8. Now if I had a bit more angle, once again I could come off 3 rails and come into the line of the 8 for either into the side or into the corner. But for this one, the angle is a bit flat, maybe close to 22.5 degrees. So just using some high right here and just bumping side rail, short rail and floating into position, I will have multiple pocket options. Here I landed on a shot that could take me down to the corner, and this helps me to complete this particular drill here. Alright, so I hope this video was of course very successful for you. I hope that you guys can give it a try and let me know in the comment section. A nice delivery here on this cue ball, just with stun draw and delivering nicely to complete yet another successful drill. Alright, now guys, this is one of my favorite drills to do. I do hope that you learned something from this particular video. Do not forget to smash the subscribe button below, turn on your post notification bell, leave some positive questions and comments, guys. Of course, let me know if this drill is of any value to you, and of course I will see you in another tutorial video. Alright, so continue to practice to improve your consistency, improve your precision, improve your accuracy, and of course maintain complete control of the game. So I'll see you in another tutorial video, and until then, take care and become a student of the game, but more so a student of your own game. Take care. Bye bye.